Hey everyone, I'm about to show you some preview footage for Three Kingdoms Total War. Before we get straight into the gameplay, I want to let you know what you'll be looking at. It's going to be an ambush battle set at night, and I'll be able to go over some new features that you can expect in Three Kingdoms Total War. I was only able to play it for a short time, so I do hope that you enjoy the gameplay footage, and let's go and get straight into it right now.
China is divided. It is a rich and fertile land where harmony once ruled and may yet again. But now, the once proud capital of Luoyang lies in ruins, and all along the Great Yellow River, a terrible conflict rages. Dongzhuo, the tyrant who once held China in his iron grip, is beset on all sides. A coalition of warlords has formed to defy his rule. The wise Chancellor Cao Cao, the noble Liu Bei, and the great General Sun Jian have combined forces to thwart him at every turn. However, it is a marriage of convenience. Even now, the cunning Cao Cao looks beyond the fall of Dongzhuo to his own future conquests. He has planted a spy in the court of his ally, Sun Jian, south of the Yangtze River, and watches for his opportunity to strike. Lady Sun, Sun Jian's noble daughter and one of his finest generals, leads her army in the east. Around her, she feels 1,000 unknown eyes watching. There is a rustling in the trees and a dark secret in the mountains. The trap is set.
It is quiet here, brother. Too quiet for my tastes. Something feels wrong. Shh! There! Movement in the tree line. An ambush is imminent. We must be ready. If we cross the river, we could escape through the southern gates. Or we could attempt to survive the ambush through force of arms. This hill would make a good defensive position en route, should more forces arrive. Prepare for battle, brother, and may your blade strike true!
Here we go now. We can watch the very beginning of this ambush here, where, as you can see, there are trees catching on fire. You're going to see a return to form for Total War. There's now a day and night cycle, which means night battles are now back in. There's also the capability to catch trees on fire, so we're going to see a return to a lot of tactical variety that we may have been missing out on for quite some time. There's a really interesting feature that I caught on to, which is that there are these types of mixed formations. You've got a hybrid unit here, where they use spears but also bows too. Well, they have a formation where the guys on the front lines, they will use their spears to fight in melee, but the guys in the back, they're using their bows to shoot into combat, and so we're about to see a charge right into their bowmen, and we're just trying to get a few nice shots in so that you're able to see what they're able to do, which right now they're just being pummeled through. And then we'll probably talk a little bit about the time period, and I'll try to get a few shots in as well. There are duels in here, and that can make a huge change in what can happen in your battle. If you win that duel, fantastic. That will benefit you and your men. If you lose that battle, that will not be great. Now, if you have a close friend or family member who dies, then that's actually a temporarily positive, I guess you could call it. It's very brief, but it will boost up that person's damage and everything else too. They'll become more powerful for a period of time. Keep in mind, we are playing in a type of mode here where it's a little bit more fantastical, where you're going to have lords who are able to just cream hundreds of men. And right now, we're just kind of moving into a different formation right now, trying to handle more of our enemies who are being overwhelmed. And you could see that it's a really beautiful map. One thing that stood out to me is really the vibrance of this map. And not only that, the minimalism and the ease of use of the UI, the user interface. That to me is very important. It felt like kind of a harkening back over to Shogun 2, and it innovated on that very much so. So everything that you need is in the lower left-hand corner. There's even some dialogue between the characters too. Hopefully that will be a normal trend. That would be fantastic. So now we need to move on to a different area to deal with more enemies. So what's very unique about ambush battles is that you can choose to leave, you can choose to escape, you might even save some men, but you can get your heroes out of there, which is a very positive thing. That allows you at that point to spare a few of your soldiers instead of letting them all die, which, as you well know, wouldn't be that great. When these epic characters die, that is it for them, they will not be back. So you want to try to save their life, but here comes an enemy. He's on his way right now. Zhang Jiao. If you know about him, you know he's a very tough guy, but he's coming in to fight. So, intrigue plays a major part in the game, where family relations can either be a benefit or detriment to you. There's mortal enemies you'll have to contend with, and your choices will influence who stays loyal to you, defects, or even joins you. And spies will play a major part as well. There's a lot of utility to them as far as like what information they can gather for you. They can even betray you and become a double agent where they're truly not trying to aid you at that point. They're just spying on you even though you think they're still helping you out. So if you're new to this time period, let me tell you, you need to go watch this film called Red Cliff Part 1 and 2. Look, it's directed by a very talented guy called John Woo, and he's made a lot of incredible films. The martial arts and everything else is just astounding to watch. It is based on the Battle of Chibi, which is where you have Sun Quan and also Liu Bei defending against the might of Cao Cao, who is the leader of Wei. You have a bunch of petty warlords and powers all trying to vie for control of China. But eventually they would form three major kingdoms that many of you probably know about, or if you don't, I'll let you know about it now. Shu, Wei, and Wu. And as you can see, we've got some wushu going on here with the martial arts, and that looks really good. And again, if you win, that will change up the entire battle, and you can even dismount and mount back up. I love that so much. You're going to be seeing a lot of unique formations popping up. They are indeed carrying lights, and not only that, banners too. So all those little trinkets and gadgets and doodads that really flesh out a battlefield, they're here. And as you can see, there are clear indicators of what each unit is. So even if you're just kind of glancing from far away, you can easily look at it and go, okay, these are where my men are at. This is what they're doing, and let's go check them out again. But you won't have to really try to squint and figure things out, because I mean, in a few titles, it was a little bit difficult to tell from a glance what you're actually looking at. Here, this is all very, very clear, and it's very pretty to look at too. It's certainly a beautiful game, and let me tell you, I've only gotten to play one battle, so I can't really tell you what I don't like yet until I'm able to play more. But so far, this is really the type of change that I've been wanting in a Total War game. I wanted to see more of the old stuff that was taken out, put back in, but also new things too, and I'm seeing that now. I mean, the fact that we have a day and night cycle, that is so freaking cool. Yeah, I would tell people this time period is like a mixture of Lord of the Rings and also a Game of Thrones on cocaine. That's how I would sum it up. You've got intrigue, you've got drama, you've got battles, you've got pretty much everything that you need in a Total War game to make it epic and just horrendous to watch on a massive scale. There is so much bloodshed going on, but this has been a very challenging ambush battle, and I can't wait, and I do hope that all of you get to try it as well. Where if you're not too careful, things can go poorly, and there's another tree catching on fire, but we have spears over here that are ready to resist that charge. And here comes another wave of foes, and we're going to be looking at more footage in just a little while too. I'll have more of the same battle. Again, I was only able to show off one battle, but this is really what you probably just want to see. A lot of close-ups and hearing some information about the game that you might not have known before. Maybe you did, but hopefully I did add some more information to your day and you were able to enjoy this video. Here's one more thing that I wanted to show you too, all the formations. Now if you want to win this battle, you're going to want to go after your other enemy quickly, and you want to engage in duels. do not use Sun Quan. He's not a great combatant when it comes to dueling. He's a great leader, but you'll want his sister to actually engage in fights. And let me tell you, if you ever played Dynasty Warriors, you know she's one awesome warrior. I really enjoy playing as Wu, and I kind of want to go play Dynasty Warriors as well now as we wait for 3 Kingdoms. I think that might actually be fun. I might consider doing that if people would like to see that, because I certainly love the games and I would love to check them out again, just to go through these storylines. And again, it's meant to be more fantastical. You are going to have 2 different game modes though. If you don't care for epic heroes being able to win on their own, that is completely okay. At that point, you could just play in the historical mode where things will be grounded. So it's actually really cool that they're giving a little bit of the pie to everyone. It's not one type of pie, it's a multitude of pies. Little war pies. Anyway, so you can now see there's a lot of formations that you'll be able to toy with as well. So I want to talk about Sun Quan. He was the second son of Sun Jin and the younger brother Sun Ce. In 200 AD, his eldest brother died and he became the ruler of what would become Wu. He ruled over Jiangdong and turned it into a wealthy and powerful state over in southeastern China. He would become a rival of Cao Cao to the north, and Cao Cao was becoming a rather major power. He would go on to defeat the warlord Yuan Shao to the north of him, and that was 2 years later. So during this time period, he would begin to go after this guy called Wang Zhu, and he would fight him for 5 years in 3 separate campaigns. He was meant to punish him for aiding in the death of his father, the murder. Later on in 208 AD, he allied with Liu Bei, and they were able to fend off Cao Cao. Then of course you've got Sun Ren, and she's probably known to you as Sun Shengzheng, and she would marry Liu Bei for a small period of time. He didn't really care for her and didn't really trust her either. Alright, well, we're coming to our conclusion here. I just wanted to show you a few formations and everything else involved. Whenever you have your heroes like that, you will certainly become such a mighty power, and you're going to watch them just cream right through a bunch of troops. Not that your troops are not important, they are, but these heroes can make or break your campaign. So, thank you for watching. Do leave a like down below and look forward to more content later, and as always, until then.